I got a letter into the advice column where the woman was asking, how did she phrase it? Do you think it's wrong for a woman to propose marriage to the guy? Do you know anybody that's done that? And, how would you go about doing it? Those are her questions. My response is to her and to anyone who's thinking of doing that, don't do it. Now, let me tell you why. Now, there are certainly, you know, pros and cons to each path that you can take. But let's talk about the cons first. There is no reason in the world why a woman should ask a man to marry her. I think it's pretty much dumb. And it's just another example of women doing too much and overstepping their boundaries. You have to think of men as being very traditional beings. And, the younger ones especially have made some allowances for women being more outside the box, shall we say. It's not really adhering to the super strict gender roles. However, with that said, there are still some things in society and in life and in relationship dynamics that must be left in the hands of the male, and proposing marriage is one of them. Now, why? Because, to say you propose, certainly then you get to find out where you stand, and that's true. You get to find out how he feels about marrying you, and there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it, because he's going to say yes, he's going to say no, and he's going to be, just letting you know what time it is. My point, though, is that you should have known that already. I mean, it's not like you can just jump up and say, marry me, and it'd be a surprise if the man's going to say no. That's why I was laughing at those videos where the guy proposes marriage and the woman turns it down. It's like, dude, are you that clueless? Really? You didn't understand how much distance she was putting between you, and how your relationship really was for you to be thinking that you could just magically propose marriage and she would be yours? I don't get that. But for women, it's like this. There's no reason for you to be dating a dude a couple of times a week. You spend all this time with him for more than, I'd say, 6 months, and he's not making some kind of noise about getting married. You're in your mid-20s to whatever age after that. You need to cut him loose. Now, the guys are going to say, well, that's not enough time. I need more time. You can have more time over there, nigga. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, that's not my responsibility to give you time. My responsibility is to myself. And in a situation where you're giving to a man, all the love, all the attention, all the affection, your free dating time, sex, everything else you have to give, and he's not talking this some kind of like more cementive relationship, then you need to understand what that means. Now, I am, as I said in another video, and I've said on my blog talk show, and I've said in dozens of different articles, men know within 90 days if you could be his wife or not. Now, most know really within the first 2 weeks. Some know within the first few minutes. But let's just give them 90 days to figure it out, to date you, to talk to you, to meet your friends, to ask you questions, see you in some different dynamics. Okay, now I'm not saying he's ready to propose at 90 days. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is he knows from what he's observed and what he said, if you could be his missus or not. And if the answer is or not, then you need to cut bait and let him go. Move him along. Because the guy who is really interested in being with you like that is not going to run from a marriage proposal. He would say, well, I'm not ready yet. He might be a little squeamish about it, but he's not going to really run away. Now, the reason why I say that women shouldn't propose is because I believe that there's only certain ways in our new society for men to show that they're men. That's the bottom line. And I think just like little girls grow up thinking about, wearing their wedding dress and having a bridal party and wedding colors and being Mrs. Somebody or other, I think guys think of that too. If he's going to be, a marriage-minded dude, they put a lot of effort into the wedding proposal. Now let's walk through this, ladies. This is what you would be taking away from him by proposing. He gets to think about the surprise look on your face. He gets to think about you crying with joy. He gets to think about picking out the perfect ring to propose with. He gets to think about involving your family and friends in the surprise proposal, perhaps. Or if he's really old fashioned, he's going to go approach your parents and ask them for your hand in marriage. If he is the real romantic type, he's going to set up some kind of really dramatic wedding proposal. He's going to be on vacation in the beach at sunset. It's going to be some kind of song and dance routine like they have on YouTube. Those are so cute. He's going to set things up so that you're surprised, you're delighted, it's romantic, it's memorable, and he's going to put a lot of thought into it. By you taking that life dream away from him, by dropping down on your raggedy ass knee and proposing to a man, you've ruined his life. You've taken that away from him. He can never get that back because you did too much. You took that from him. Why would you do that? Stop it. Just slow your roll. It's just no need for you to ever, ever, ever propose to a man. If he's ready for marriage, he will let you know. Because you'll get the message. Trust me. You won't have to ask him. He'll let you know. Guys want to feel that, that toe tingling, that heart pounding, that tongue twisting feeling they get when they realize that you're the woman he can't live without. When he understands that kind of feeling, he's going to move forward to make sure that you're a part of his life no matter what. Now, some of the dudes have reported that, that moment that they realize that she could leave and that they would have to do without her, that their chest constricts, they can't breathe, they feel faint and lightheaded, and all of this kind of stuff. So these are the guys that are going to move forward with developing a wedding proposal for you. That's special. He wants it to be special. He wants it to be memorable. He wants it to be unique. He wants it to be romantic. And he wants you to be surprised. Why would you take that? I just don't understand why so many women think that that's okay. Now, if you have a guy who, say you're trying to feel him out, right? You're trying to see how he feels about marriage. And he's confused, or he's not ready, or he don't know what he's looking for. And, there's certain things that he's looking for you to do or say before you get before he gets married to you. You need to understand the game that's being run on you. Go and take a look at the video I did called Marriage is Carrot on a Stick, because that's what's happening to you. A man who really wants to be with you is going to give you a time frame. It's like, well, I'm not really, I can't, yeah, that sounds good. I'm thinking along those lines. I would love to be married to you. I could see us with a good future. You my kind of woman. He's going to make some kind of noise like that, right? And he's also going to give you a time frame in which this is going to be happening. And these tend to be older couples. The young ones, their life is uphill, up in the air so much. But say you got a dude who's, 30, 35, 40 years old. He's going to be, letting you know what his life goals are and how you fit in his life. And if you're not sure, then ask him. But there's no reason for you to just jump into proposing marriage in a situation like that where you don't know how he's thinking. You don't know what he's thinking. You don't know what his plans are. He may have something in the works, to propose to you already, and you just blew it by asking him or stepping up, doing his job for him. Stop it. Sit your ass down somewhere. Because you can have, that romantic proposal. You can have the marriage you want. You can have the life you want. You can have the man you want. But you have to give him the time to find his way there himself, within your parameters, of course. I am not advocating that you date a man for, 4 years, 3 years, 10 years, all that old shit. You don't need to do that. But neither do you need to push him towards a marriage by proposing when he's not really ready yet. Because for all that you know, You might be the woman that he's kind of interested in, but he's not real sure. And, he's just kind of dragging things out. That's why I say you only give him a certain length of time. You have to be patient, but not too patient. You need to set a time frame that works for you on when a relationship should advance to something more serious. You want a reasonable time frame. What's reasonable? Reasonable is going to vary depending upon your age, his age, and where the two of you are in life. You're just getting out of college, saddled with a bunch of student loans and all that old stuff, no real career path. Well, he may take a little longer than a guy who's already got all that in place, and who's really ready to bring a wife and a family into his life. So you got to look at where he is, his chronological age, as well as your situation, where you are. You don't want to wait too late to where you feel uncomfortable getting pregnant, where you feel like your risks are too high. Neither do you want to just rush into it and, do something dumb by asking him to marry you. Because if you think about it, what does that look like, right? A woman begging a man to marry her. That's what it looks like to me. Dropping down on a knee, doing all this shit. It looks like you groveling. What the fuck? That's not that's not feminine. That's masculine. And in a situation like this, so I keep telling you guys, yes, I'm an advocate of women being equal as far as pay and work opportunities, educational opportunities, all that kind of stuff. You doing the same job as a man, you should get paid the same salary. And that front, I am all for equality. However, there are certain things in life, and I'm going to say this one more time, certain things in life where you need as a woman to sit your ass down somewhere and let the man do his thing. He needs to feel like a man. He needs to feel masculine. He needs to feel like he's rewarding you and fulfilling a dream that you have. He wants to make you happy. You have to let him do that. It may be, this, like I said, this elaborate proposal. It may be that he just pops out with a ring he picked out while you guys are having dinner. I mean, it could be whatever way it is, but you need to let him take the lead on that without coercion, without pressure, without begging, none of that. Let him do it, but make sure that he understands that there's a time frame and that you're not going to be around forever, because he needs to really, sometimes men need a little pressure to get in line, get in touch rather with their feelings and how much they would need a woman, how much they would want to be with her, how much she means to them. And if he just feels like he doesn't really have to think about that because you're going to be with him for the next 20 years just dating, well, that's, your needs aren't going to get met, and neither is he going to really have the opportunity by fear of loss to get in touch with what he really feels about you. And it's a risk. I agree, I'm all for that. Acknowledgement is the risk, because he may decide that he can do without you. But again, isn't that better than you wasting years and years, decades even, of your life with a man who will never really give you what you want? Isn't that better to know? So, and then let me add this too. I've seen some marriages, where the woman proposed and the guy said yes. Now, why did he say yes? Sometimes because he just don't have shit else to do, and why not? Sometimes because the woman asked him, and he's like, oh, well, yeah, I guess. Those are guys that are lazy or really not really that emotionally invested, because if he were that emotionally invested, he would get off his ass and make it happen himself. But the woman has taken that burden off of him, so he just, like a tumbleweed, is just kind of rolling with it, just wherever the wind takes him, that's where he's going. Now, if for a woman, is that the kind of marriage you really want? A man who's not really that into you, he's not really interested in the marriage, he's not really invested in it much. He just kind of went along with it because it was easier to go along with it than it was to say no. So I don't think, I really think women need to understand, you want to marry a man who can't imagine his life without you in it. You want to marry a man who will take the initiative and man the fuck up and go and do what he needs to do as a man to make his marital dream come true. He needs to put in some work. You who want to jump in there and do it all for him are fucking up shit. Sit your ass down somewhere. You don't need to propose marriage to a man. If he wants to marry you, he'll ask you, and then all you do is just, be all surprised and cry and shit and say, "Oh my God, yes, yes, yes." That's what you do. That's your role. Okay? And I don't know. I just think that when those marriages that I've observed, when a woman proposes, the guy just never seems to be 100% heart and mind into it like he would be if he chose her for his wife versus her choosing him for her husband. You get what I mean? And just think about all you women who are Christians and how the Bible says a man who finds a wife finds a good thing. You need to keep that in your mind because it's all about what he does, what he finds, and the value that you bring to his life. It's never in there nothing about a woman finding a husband being a good thing. That's not it. They're stressing that the wife is the prize. The wife is something that a man has to earn and he should strive to achieve to have. You need to sit your ass down somewhere and let him do that. Let him have that dream of masculine energy of securing his life spouse. Let him do that. Stop taking that away from men by proposing marriage. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. Okay? Just understand that. You just want to be a woman that, let your dude adore you. Let him show you that what he's looking for is you. Give him that opportunity. Don't take it away from him. All right? My name is Deborah Cooper. We were just discussing women proposing marriage to men and why I am not in absolute favor of that practice. I just can't see any reason for it. Anyway, I'll be back in a day or two with another video on dating and relationships. Check me out on the blog in the interim at survivingdating.com. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for listening.